Now, there is a really important thing that you should do when you first start playing this game for the first 6 days, actually, and I'm really surprised the game doesn't kind of force you to do it so that you know what's going on with it. But it's very important to do so that you can conquer all the things there are to do. I'm on day 3. I just started, just logged in, and here are the heroes I currently have leveled up. I got a level 69, a level 39, 32, and 30. How to take your heroes and basically reset them at no cost as many times as you want for 6 days. And this is extremely important because you have so many dungeons to conquer when you're going through your journal. Your journal is going to tell you to run the Goblin Cave to get experience like 12 times. Well, you might not have a team that does a whole bunch of AoE damage, and you need AoE damage to go through there to progress because each stage costs the same amount of stamina. But you want to go up as high as you can. You want to get to the highest part so that that stamina will net you more rewards. And then it's going to tell you to go into these different domains. You can go into the Tempest domains. These are all resources to rank up your heroes from rank 1 to rank 2 and so on. And you need to rank them up because once you get up to rank 3, you can then apply artifacts on your heroes. So you're going to want to rank up your heroes, get them stronger, but you need different heroes to combat all these different dungeons. So when you're going in here for the Goblin Cave, like I said, you need AoE guys. You need people that'll do a lot of AoEs. When you come in here to this Flame domain to get the resources to level up your poison and flame heroes, you actually don't want to come in here with poison and flame heroes because once you go up high enough, poison and flame heroes in this domain start taking more damage and dealing less damage to the point to where if you're at something like this, 60% additional damage taken, 60% less damage done. And then here it goes up to 90%. So there's no way at 90% and 60% you can be bringing in these flame and poison heroes to conquer this. And I've got guides on all this. Look back through my channel. I'm going to be releasing at least minimum 3 videos a day on this game. So just look back, tons of stuff for you to see, and I'll be loading them up every day as well. So we need to be able to take our heroes on the first 6 days to 0. And the way to do that, well, reset them, is to go to the event. And you see here at this torrent, like the heroes I have for the first 6 days, I've taken all these heroes back down to level 1 many times because I wanted to go into the Tempest domain to get Tempest material to level up these 2 classes of heroes. Let me show you. Over here, the Tempest domain, to level up Lightning and Radiant. And I wanted to make a strong Lightning and Radiant team so then I could go in and conquer the Frost domain because eventually at the end of my 6 days, because it'll let me do this for 6 days, I want to kind of settle on the Frost heroes I have because I feel like that they're, well, Frost and as well as our Necrosis. I have a really good team comp for that to get me through the rest of the game. Now, eventually you're going to have to level up, you know, a variety of different heroes. So you'll be able to conquer all these dungeons. But in the first 6 days, you can't do that, right? You don't have enough resources to get all the levels in the Goblin Cave, which this is just Goblin Cave 1. We've got way more Goblin Cave 2 down here and other things to fight and other bosses and world bosses that we're going to fight later on. You'll see those videos. But right now, for the first starting days, you're going to want to reset all these heroes as often as possible, not only just to get to know these heroes and see what you really want to play, but that you can conquer this stuff because it's going to tell you in the journal to go in here and do all these different areas. And you're going to say, well, if I spread myself thin like that, I'm going to have a whole bunch of level 10s or level 20s all over the place so I can try to do like the bare minimum level 1s of these areas. But you don't need to do that, right? Just come in here and as many times as you want. There is no downside to this. I could select all these heroes right now and I'm going to level them back up. Just go to rebuild. Yes, they're all back down to level 1 and you get all the resources you used to level them up. Now, I will say that when you go in here to level up heroes, instead of doing it manually yourself, like say I want to just start leveling up this guy, upgrade him, go over here to quick upgrade, and then let them do that so that they kind of use the best experience pots. Because if you're using a super big experience pot before you get to level 30, you'll kind of waste some experience. And it's better if you just let them do it. And then here's where we use those resources we farm in the Flame domain, the Tempest domain, and the Frost domain. And you're able to rank up your heroes. So now I can rank up this guy. So if I wanted to make like a wild team, a fire team, along with whatever fire goes with right now, fire and poison, I can now make a fire and poison team and at least test it out so I know what do I really want to settle with at the end of 6 days. Now at the end of 6 days, whatever you're using, you're not actually stuck with that. You can't reset anymore. It only allows you to do this for 6 days. And I think in the beta, it only allowed us to do it for 3 days. Where we needed more time. We needed really more time. 6 days is good, so make sure you're playing for those 6 days and you're getting accustomed to what heroes you have, what ones you really want to go with. And I can tell you right now, for this game in general, It's good to have lots of heroes that can heal you, that can shield you, that can decrease attack on the enemy, that can block buffs on the enemy, and that can block debuffs on yourself, because healing and sustaining through fights is the most important. Now, going through the flame domain, there's some key heroes that will get you through this that I have in videos. It's really easy to do if you get the right hero for this, a rare hero, and it's easy, but you're still going to have to come in here with something other than fire and poison, because it's not going to work out for those higher levels. So for the first 6 days, really, you've got to come in here to event, come over here to this torrent, and as many heroes as you want that you have leveled up, just go in here all day long and do this and look at your journal. Whatever your journal says to go do, you'll have what you need, because the first couple days, you don't get a lot of gold dice, but you do get a lot of purple dice, a ton of purple dice. So you're going to have a lot of heroes. You're going to have a huge roster to look through. Now, I played through the beta. That's why I've got all these, and I'm on a different server than global launch server, but I'm going to be starting my own account on the actual global launch server tomorrow, and I'll be streaming too. So look for me on Twitch. As soon as it goes live, I will be streaming, which is 9 a.m. my time. You'll have all these heroes to level up, and then switching gear costs nothing. So don't worry about switching gear. Any gear that you find, just level it up. Well, not all of it, level it up. Level up this starting gear so you can have 5-man with enough gear on them, and then throw all this gear on. And then as you're going around questing, you'll get this gear. And then when we make it to our first dungeon to fight, I've got videos on that to get you the epic gear and to get you the legendary gear free to play without having to have any legendaries, without having to have any key epics. You actually use an uncommon to do it. So that's going to be a fun one that we will visit soon. Probably tomorrow I'll be throwing out those videos. Also, since this is a beginner guide, #1 tips for doing everything, teleport everywhere. You don't have to be on a teleportation to teleport somewhere. All you have to do is be out in the wild. Make sure you grab these teleportation nodes. You got to grab them when you're coming up, and you'll see them on the map. They'll just be dark like this. You run up to it, it'll highlight it then, and then you can teleport anywhere. So grab those nodes, and if you want to go to the Tempest domain, I just teleport to it. And again, I could be anywhere in the open wild. But this is it, everyone. This is what you need to do for the first 6 days. Make sure you take advantage of this. Switch your heroes as many times as you want. Try some stuff out, test some things out. If you're going through Goblin Cave, like I said, it's really good to have a whole bunch of AoE heroes, and you'll realize that right away. I've got guides on this, but you'll know when you go to the Goblin Cave, you need a whole bunch of AoE. You don't need any tanks. You don't need really some heals in the beginning, but later on you won't really need some heals. You're just blasting through the waves to get the experience. And then to fight these, the first couple levels, there's no real mechanics to it, but there are mechanics later on where you need certain heroes, certain removing of debuffs here, certain, DPSing down when she shields up on this one. And then this, to me, seems like the easiest one now, because you really don't need a tank in the Tempest domain. You just run through there and blow it up. If you have any questions, let me know down below. I will answer them all. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you all in a video soon.